So here we have an open root V-groove weld with obviously no backup bar. We're going to weld this in the vertical position, and we're going to use 6010s for the root pass. It's somewhere between 70 and 85 amps, wherever you're happy there, that's your choice. And we're going to fill it with 3/32 70/18s at a minimum of 90 amps. This joint is probably one of my favorites. It's very fun to do. I guess the mystery factor kind of comes in here because you don't really know what's happening on the back. You have to guess based on what you see on the front. But this joint's good for practicing for the limited thickness plate test without a backup bar, or for practicing pipe. But either way, you want to make sure that your root opening and your landing are spot on. So for this, I like to use, well, everybody uses a 30-degree bevel angle here. Gives you a 60-degree groove angle. And I prefer a 3/32 root face with a 3/32 root opening. This is a pretty good balance, and I think it works the best. So the techniques you see me use here, pretty simple. Some guys call it the keyhole, the whip, or the step motion. But basically, all I'm really doing here is getting the rod to the back of the joint and waiting for metal to spray out the backside. I let the rod burn back a little bit, and that kind of opens up a keyhole. And then take the rod, move it up a little bit into that keyhole, all the way into the back, fill it in, and let it burn back again. And this is how it happens. I think by letting the rod burn back a little bit, it kind of gives you better fusion along the edges of the weld. So it kind of eliminates a little bit of the undercut and slag inclusions that you end up with if you were to just drag it up. You know, no need to really grind this one. Just use the step, and your weld should come out pretty good. Yeah, the hot pass or the second pass with the 70/18 usually burns out anything that's left over on the front, and your back should look just like that. So for your filler passes, you're just going to hold your corners just like you would on any other structural steel test in the vertical position. You know, a 2 to 3 second count works just fine, and that'll help you eliminate any undercut that you'd end up with on the edges. It keeps the weld from getting too crowned along the center. You know, it really is just, I can't see a better way to do it. If anybody knows a better way, please tell me. But I'm real happy with the way the welds come out. They're nice and flat. They're clean looking. You can sculpt them a little bit. And that's about what they should look like. Nice and smooth, nice and even. They're the same size. They're flat. That's a big deal. You can see the fusion up there at the top edge of that. Okay, rock solid, melted in there nice. This is just the second half, just to give you a little bit more visual on what it's supposed to look like. Okay, and count in your head when you do this. 1 1000, 2 1000, cross. 1 1000, 2 1000, cross. If you're not used to doing this, that helps you. Some points on the structural steel plate, you know, we hold longer than 2 seconds. And you kind of have to count, because you want to pull away, but you're not full. You know, 3 to 4 seconds sometimes is really what you need. This one here, just read the puddle. It'll tell you how long you have to stay there. Cap is done the same way. With this one here now, you want to make sure your weld buildup is proper. So you're going to watch the back edge of the puddle to ensure that your weld buildup is good. Watch the edges to make sure that you're filling it in enough. And just peek at the top edge every now and then to make sure you're tying it in and fusing into the previous weld. That is the point. Anyway. And this is an example of proper heat, proper travel speed, proper technique, and that's what your slag should look like when it comes off. One nice big chunk. Okay, so here it is again. It's the second half. Holding the edges, nice and slow, relatively quick across the center. I'm not going to say nice and slow. It's pretty quick across the center. Just make sure you drag the puddle with you. Don't just skip right across. You got to move the puddle as well. Otherwise you're going to end up with overlap or incomplete fusion inside the joint. Alright, that's how easy this lag comes off when you do it right. That's about proper arc length right there. If you Alright, so the finished weld is nice and clean. It's crisp looking, the ripples are nice, there's no undercut along the sides. The profile of it is right on. It's, just above flush, no more than 1/8 of an inch. The back side of the joint, we got 100% fusion. We got a little weld spitting out the back side there, which is key. And that's it. I hope that helped you guys out.